For anybody who came to this video thinking that this is a review of the Avengers Endgame movie, it is not. But there may contain certain elements that could be construed as spoilers, but for the most part, it's not spoilers. What this is really about is a business lesson and a life lesson that you and everybody else should be able to take from the Avengers Endgame movie, but not just the one movie, but the entire saga that this movie has been through. Let me go ahead and give you a first preview of that understanding in this first minute. The thing is that the Avengers Endgame movie made $1.2 billion in 3 days. But it didn't just do that because that one movie came out. This happened over a 22-year movie and 11-year experience. So if you are looking for the overnight success, that is an overnight success. But you got to learn how to do that. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So what's up, everybody? How you doing? This is your Coach Renz, and I want to thank everybody for joining me here. If you're finding me for the first time, then hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you'll know when videos are uploaded and live events occur. I appreciate you guys. If you find me on Facebook and any other medium, please subscribe, follow, like, whatever to that video as well, to that channel at platform, and then, you know, share this video. So today we're going to take a few minutes to talk about the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe and how it relates to you in business and in life. And one of the primary life lessons that you should be able to take out of this for anything you want to do, whether it's talking about your health, whether it's talking about your relationships, talking about your money, your business, your career, raising your children, whatever it is, you need to implement this into your life in order for you to actually have success, the type of success that gets you $1.2 billion in 3 days. But you have to understand that $1.2 billion wasn't made in 3 days. It wasn't. That $1.2 billion had its beginning over 11 years ago. It had its beginning over 11 years ago with two primary things involved. What are those two things? And that's what we're talking about through the whole of this video. They had a plan, and that plan was backed by definiteness of purpose. You understand? They had a plan, and that plan was backed by definiteness of purpose. You guys heard me talk about definiteness of purpose before. You've got to get this into your mindset, but you have to have a plan. Without a plan, you don't really have definiteness of purpose. Now, some of you may say, well, I don't have a big plan, major plan, long-term plan, strong plan. It doesn't matter. If there's a question that was asked once that if a person has a strong plan but no definiteness of purpose, will they be able to achieve success faster and better than a person who has a weak plan but definiteness of purpose? And the answer is always the person with definiteness of purpose with a weak plan will outdo the person with a strong plan with no definiteness of purpose. And oftentimes that person with the weak plan with definiteness of purpose will cultivate that plan into a strong plan and then obtain their goals much faster and better. Now, if you have a strong plan with definiteness of purpose, of course, you got the best of both situations. But when you're not definite within your purpose, that means that you don't vibrate at a level, you don't engage the world, you don't draw from the energy of nature, the wisdom of the universe, what you need in order to attain your plan. You kind of have a great plan, but you sit there and you do nothing with it. In the same way that I tell people over and over again, you got to use my 70-10-10-10 plan. It is a great financial plan for you to follow. You download, order, and then download the DIY if you need to fix your credit and then budget your life and gain financial wealth. The Financial Alchemy DIY on CoachRenz.com. Get that program, whether it's the DIY or if it's coaching with me. You'll have a great plan. But if you don't have the definiteness of purpose to implement the plan, then it's wasteful. You're not going to move. But you give me somebody, like some of my current clients, who they have that definiteness of purpose and they've been working the plan. Credit scores going up, financial abilities increasing, money in the bank increasing, those kinds of things. Different ways we've discussed how to increase their income. Start to move in those directions, and it starts to happen because they have a definiteness of purpose backed by a plan. This is what Kevin Feige had. This is what the MCU had. They had a plan, a 10-year plan. They had done other Marvel movies before, Blade being one of their most successful movies back in the day, and it opened that door to say that we can be successful. Some other movies, the old Captain America, the old Spider-Man, didn't do well back in the 70s and 80s. So they had things that didn't look good, things that did look good. But then here they bring in Kevin Feige. He has this 10-year plan of building this cinematic universe. And I know this is where a lot of people get into comparison with DC, and we're going to use that comparison. DC they didn't do the universe building. DC was more like Batman Forever. Nolan Ryan's Batmans were great, awesome, but they didn't build a DC universe with that. The Superman movie, I forgot who directed those, but the Cavill is the actor. The Superman movies, they were decent movies, but they weren't building a DC universe. Suicide Squad didn't build a DC universe. Yeah, the way they did it, they just kind of put it out there to make quick money, not having a long-term plan with definiteness of purpose. But Kevin Feige came in and said, we're going to start with Iron Man, somebody that people really don't know. But we got Robert Downey Jr., who's a great actor, and he can push him into the mainstream. And from that point, we're going to have these end credits, and we're going to build our universe by having end credits and making sure there's connective tissue within each movie so that they have a framework, a frame of reference, a line that they all follow. They're on the same timeline. They're in the same universe. And Marvel did this with the characters that they owned at the time. Mind you, they didn't own the X-Men characters and Deadpool and all these other characters. So those movies are not part of the universe, but they owned all these characters and they melded them together. They didn't go straight from Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2 and Captain America 1 and 2 and then let's do Civil War. They didn't do that. No, they took time. They built these other characters. They had a plan. They kept following it. And that's what you have to do. You have to have a plan like that in your life. What is the end game of your plan? And then reverse engineer it with all the connective tissues in order to get you to your destiny, in order to get you to your goal. It's kind of like if you want to get better in your health. All right, your end game may be to have this chiseled body, have all this energy, to have all this flexibility, to have all that, all that good feeling, that good feeling, mental energy going on. But how do we reverse engineer it? What type of workouts are going to get us there? We know we eventually want to do these type of workouts, but how do we build up to that workout? I can't just jump into running a marathon. No, I gotta first be able to run a mile. Then let me be able to run 2-3 miles. Let me run 5 miles. Now let me do a marathon training. We're going to run 7 miles today, and then the next time we run 1 mile. Then we're going to run 3 miles after that, and then we're going to run another 2 miles, and then we're going to run another 10 miles. You build up your endurance to be able to do it. To be able to do that, so that next thing you know, you have that endurance and that ability and that mental state to run the marathon. The same way as working out. You don't go in and say, well, I'm about to do this 2-hour workout. No, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a little bit of cardio, about 10 minutes of cardio. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do about 30 minutes of weight training. Going to be light weights, not going to be heavy. Going to be about 6, 7, 8 exercises. Going to do that. I'm going to have about a 10-minute stretching session, and we're going to do that. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to eat well, and I prepare my meals. And you build and build on that. And then after a while, yes, you got the 2-hour workouts where you're like really grinding in it, and then you start to see that difference. It's a marathon. It's connective over a longer period of time, which is what Kevin Feige did. Yes, what Kevin Feige did. All right, so that's important. But here's one of the most important parts, and this is what we're going to emphasize for the majority of this at this point, is you have to keep your plan to yourself and only give it to others on a need-to-know basis. It's vital, 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 vital. So you get your definite plan. Got a definite plan. Don't tell everybody your plan. I made this mistake recently. I'm going to tell you guys about that. But Kevin Feige showed that in a lot of the interviews, you'll see actors say Doctor Strange was the only one who had a full script of Infinity War, while no one else, so Cumberbatch had the full script. No one else had it, especially the kid who plays Spider-Man, because, he be telling stuff all the time. But, or the guy who plays Hulk, be just giving up too much information. So these guys, he didn't give all the information. The full scripts weren't given to everybody. I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. probably had a full script, but most other people didn't know the full thing. The young lady Brie Larson, who played Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, she came in and shot Endgame before she even shot her Captain Marvel movie. when she was shooting Endgame, she really didn't understand the full breadth of her character in Captain Marvel because they haven't done her origin story. She hadn't fleshed that character out, but she had to go ahead and shoot Endgame. So she didn't know everything, in the process. He made sure that secrets were kept. Many people like me, I have over a 6,000 book comic book collection. I got the Infinity War, Infinity Crusade, Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity Saga, the whole goddamn thing. I know that whole storyline backwards and forward. So people like me was like we can look at it and say, well, is he doing it? Is he doing that? Is he trying to figure out the plan? But we know they're not sticking strict to the comic, to the source material. So, you give that leeway. So I was just like, so even for people who kind of sort of should be able to figure out the plan, we don't know the whole plan. You still won't know the whole plan. That's a lot of guessing going on. You know that. Now I'm not gonna do that because that's some spoiler stuff. But that certain characters play certain roles and did certain things, and certain people held certain things and did certain things. But you're waiting to see, is that how the plan fleshed itself out? Because I didn't know. You didn't know. They didn't give away the whole house, in it. But everything followed into that plan, and you don't tell everybody. I'm gonna tell you what telling everybody does for you and doesn't do for you. All right. But first, let me break it down to you, something that happened to me recently, because I fell into that. I had a momentary loss of that yesterday. I had a momentary loss of giving up too much of my plan. So I'm going to pick up my son to take him to go get a suit. Right. This actually did not yesterday. This happened on Saturday. So Saturday, I'm going to pick up my son to get him a suit for prom, getting his first grown man suit to go to his prom. He's 18 now. And while I was picking him up, one of his aunts was there from his mother's side. His aunt's there. So, we greet each other, we hug each other, happy, we good to go and everything. So we start talking while I'm waiting for my little man child to come from upstairs. And in that talking, how you doing? I'm not one to lie. At the moment, I was just doing okay. So, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Getting ready to take the kids to the Endgame. Gonna go get Lincoln a suit for the prom. Doing okay. Start talking about business and life and work and everything. And no shade on her, because I love her to death. I love her to life. But she's the kind of person that believes everybody should just get a job. I'm the kind of guy who's don't like having a job. I work for myself. So in that conversation, she asked about, what was going on in my life. I gave her a little bit of information, told her where I am, what I'm getting ready to do, about one of my plans of revamping my gourmet popcorn company into a better location, that sort of thing. But because the company has struggled over the last 5 years, being in improper locations, of course it was like, just get a job like everybody else, and why are you still going to go after that dream kind of thing, rolling up the eyes. And then I spent the next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, probably more, trying to convince her to be on my team for that. Trying to gain her approval. You see, in my past, long time ago, I used to always look for the approval of certain members of my family. On my kid's mom's side when we was married, as well as on my side. I always look for certain people's approval. I always desired certain people's approval. And I would argue and talk and conversate with those people to gain their approval. And it's so funny because I had just saw an episode of Shark Tank when the one lady went out, but the guy, and Mark Cuban was offering a deal, but the guy's still trying to explain himself to Barbara. And it's like, why are you focusing on somebody who's already out? You're trying to gain their approval and they're already out. You just, you want that. So I found myself doing that. And for 30 minutes, I did that. At least probably around 30 minutes. I know it had to be 30 minutes. I did that. And then I caught myself at the end of 30 minutes and realized, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I trying to convince her to be on my team for this? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's on my team, right? And I thought about that, and I was in the car with my son. I'm thinking about that for like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes, that's just bothering me. It's like on my mind. Like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You know better than that. Just want to thump myself in the head. Like, better. So I'm contemplating this thing. And before I get into some of the things that it contemplates, let me go ahead and tell you the law of attraction that it created. Because I took that 30 minutes, you see, we was on a time scale. I was picking up my son, we was going to go get the suit, and then we was going to meet my daughters, and we'd go see Endgame, then take my son home with his suit, and go about and finish working my business for that day. Now, also on Monday, I had a full boat schedule for Monday with coaching clients as well as other marketing and other things that I need to do. But because I took that 30 minutes, I didn't have time to take my son to get his suit. Cause the effect. So, which meant that on Monday, I had to go back and pick up my son. Mind you, my son lives an hour away from where I live. Okay. I'm on one side of Atlanta. He's clear on the other side in the country, right? It's country for me, but Dallas, Georgia. So it's an hour drive. So I had to take an hour to go pick him up, 30 minutes to go to this place where the suits are, which is right by the movie theater that we went to. Pick out the suit, get fitted, get it all fitted, tailored, and everything. Well, set up for tailor, and then drive him back 30 minutes back to his house. And then I can get on with my day, which getting back to the city took another like 30 minutes. So, man, it was like all that time. So I didn't get to fulfill my day as much as I needed to yesterday. And then, which made me have to make up for some of that time. So I had to work even later last night, which meant that I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted to get last night. So I'm not as well rested because I had to get up because I got other things I need to do today. I got to get back on my schedule. Cause and effect. That one moment, that one thing of trying to give my plan to someone and please them and get them over to my team, spending that time, the causal factor of me telling my plan to someone who at that moment didn't need to know my plan, they were not on the need to know basis, caused that delay, caused more delays, messed up my whole schedule. Now, most people won't look at it that far. They'll just say something like, man, life happened, man. That's why I wasn't able to handle what I need to handle at the end of this week. See, I got something that needs to be handled at the end of the week, but all the things scheduled this week handles at the end of the week. You get to that point, you can't handle it. You're like, man, shoot, life is just hard, man. I be trying to do stuff, but stuff just getting in the way. And you go through all of that and you blame life. No, causal factor. You need to please people. You want people on your team, so you told them your plan who don't need to know your plan, caused you a 30-minute delay that turned into a 3-hour delay. 3 hours? Yeah, 4.5 delay, which caused you to fall behind, which caused you to miss your deadline. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. So we don't think about that, but that's what telling your plan. You can't tell your plan to everybody. You can't tell your plan. It's on a need to know basis, and here's the need to know. If a person maybe 50-50 for you on your plan, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Unless the person is 100% guaranteed to be on your team, then you may tell them the parts that they need to know. Then if a person doesn't add value to your plan, they do not need to know. The person needs to be able to add value to your plan in order for them to be told your plan or even the part of the plan that you're telling them. If there's no value add, there's no need to tell them. Keep it to yourself. Because you don't want to carry that person's energy if they're negative to your plan, if they don't agree with your plan, if they think that you're wrong with your plan, if they think you need to have another direction in your life, but you know that's not your path, then don't tell them. You only need to tell people who are with you on your path, who understand your path, who support your path, and realize that it may not all be sunshines and rainbows, that there's going to be, some low points. There's going to be some desert. There's going to be some desolate parts, but they're still there down for you through that. You can tell those people your plan. You can tell people who understand, who help you in a little bit, help you in some portion, a little bit of your plan, but you don't want to tell them a lot of it. Tell them a little bit, not a lot of it of your plan. All right. So don't tell them a lot of it. And the other part is when you tell people your plan, now you feel beholden to them. Now you feel like you carry this extra weight of making sure that you have to prove it out to them. So if you have a change of mind, an adjustment in your plan, we're going to talk about that more of how Marvel shows making adjustments within the plan. If you have an adjustment with your plan, now it's harder to make that adjustment because that adjustment may go away from the end result that you originally told this person about your plan, but you're beholden to this person. So you still, even though you know you need to make an adjustment, you don't make it because you're beholden to this person. You're trying to make sure that you fulfill what you told that person. But if you never tell this person the plan, you never tell this person the end result, then you don't have to worry about being beholden to this person. Usually when people say, well, what do you plan on doing with your business? With Uncle Renz Popcorn, I just tell them my goal is to build a multi-billion-dollar business, just a multi-billion-dollar business. And I tell them I love business. I don't care what the business is most of the time. I just love business. So that is my plan to build a business. If it's Uncle Renz Popcorn, great. If it's Coach Renz, great. If it's a car dealership, great. If it's selling rubber bands, great. Whatever it is, I just love business. I love the transactional aspects of business, whether it's on real estate, whatever it is. I just love business. So I don't tell people that, oh, my plans for Uncle Renz Popcorn is to do this, unless it's somebody who's helping me to develop Uncle Renz Popcorn. Then I'll tell that person what my plan is for this company. But ultimately, I'm able to adjust. Like Patton said, if your plan cannot be adjusted, then your plan has already failed. It's something that Patton said. This is loosely something like that. But you have to have that. Otherwise, you make bad decisions trying to uphold something that you told somebody else, a standard that you told somebody else. You don't leave yourself room for adjustments, which gives me to the next point that Marvel showed. Marvel made adjustments throughout the process. When they saw the standalone Hulk movies weren't working, so what did they do then? Ever since the Edward Norton Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk has not been in a standalone. He was part of Thor Ragnarok. He was part of Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Age of Ultron, the original Avengers, the first Avengers movie. He's been parts of. I wouldn't be surprised that to see maybe in Homecoming, Hulk has a part in that one, or maybe in Black Panther 2, Hulk has a part in that one. That Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is now a additional character, but not doing his own standalone movie, and that's proved to be successful for Marvel. So they were willing to make the adjustments. I mean, and some people are like, man, there was some other good characters that were in the Hulk movies. I would love to see Abomination in in an Avengers movie or in a Thor movie, and then you bring the Hulk in. So it would be cool to do that. Thor, if you is Thor's movie. So Thor Dark World. Thor, I think that was the second one. Thor the Dark World didn't prove to be a great movie. Ragnarok is Thor's best movie. It's the best movie by Thor. Now, Thor is going in a different direction. I don't want to tell you because it's kind of spoilery, so I'm not going to tell you. But Thor's going in a different direction now. It's not likely Thor is going to have a big by himself movie. He may, but he's also is going to be a part of other movies. The way Thor interacted in Infinity War with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and there was a run of a comic called the Asgardians of the Galaxy. So to see Thor continuing to work with the Guardians of the Galaxy it's not his movie, he's working within their movie. It's a good thing, right? And they're making that adjustment by having characters play parts in other people's movies. Iron Man did the same thing in Spider-Man Homecoming. So, we'll see that the introduction of Black Panther in Civil War, which DC, world building. It's just like if you have a business and you say that, like, I have Uncle Renz Popcorn, right? And I'm in discussions with a certain few people. I talk to them about adding a couple of other elements to my store. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is, but because I don't know y'all like that. But there's a couple of other elements I might add. I'll be adding some elements I'm adding because I may do a future break off and have a new brand and a new company. Other things is, let me see if this works. It's making adjustments to the plan. Adding more value to the current product. And you can add you can do too many adjustments. You can do too many adjustments, right? And mess it up. But the good thing about that, you can always pull those adjustments back. You can always pull them out. All right. You can always change them back. I mean, look at McDonald's, for instance. McDonald's is a burger joint, but they got fish sandwiches, they got chicken sandwiches, they serve breakfast, they got coffee, they got all this stuff that they've added to their menu. And then when a new person came in and took over McDonald's a few years ago and realized that they had all these items on their menu, he cut their menu pretty much in half and pulled it back some because there was too much. So you can add and you can come back, but you got your core. So have your core plan, but be willing to make adjustments and changes. That's vital. If you can't do that, you're going to mess up. And because I told somebody one of my plans, if I was still the same me, I would feel like I have to uphold that. But be honest, I ain't got to uphold nothing. Only thing I got to take care of is me, right? And by taking care of me is automatically going to take care of my children. So If I change my plan, the fact of the matter is if the people that I've said something to in the past come back and say, well, I thought you was going to, well, you said you, I just be like, and I changed my mind. I decided something different. What does that mean to you? Why is that bothering you so much? Why does it bother you so much that I changed my plan? I did something different. Why does it bother you so much that I didn't go ahead and finish out this aspect of my life that I, 2-3 years ago said I wanted to do? I have the right to change my mind. Why are you so stuck on my mind? Stick with your mind. That's my attitude now and going forward. And that's the attitude that you have to be able to have for yourself, is to say that I've changed my mind. And if you don't approve of it, why are you so caught up into it? My life really doesn't impact yours that way. So do your own thing. Do you. Do you. So you have to be willing to do that. And in that, you have to recognize that failure does not equal quitting. And failure does not equal your person or who you are. I have put Uncle Renz popcorn in several locations that did not work. Some people see that as a failure and that I should quit. I put it in a location that does work. So my thing is, I've learned from my failures, and that's what failures equal to me. They're learning processes into success. So let me just repeat now what I know was successful and keep doing that, right? Until that proves itself not to be, keep doing that and then make adjustments if need be. But that's what those failures mean to me. Those failures are just learning processes. Me and my son was having a conversation. Is this part of this video or the next one? No, it's part of this one. Me and my son was having this conversation yesterday, and we was talking about business, because my son is going to, instead of going to college, he's coming to work and help me build Uncle Renz popcorn back to its glory. So we was having this conversation. He said the repeatable thing that most people say, that everything happens for a reason. And I said, no, son, no. And this actually could be a whole video by itself, but it's not. I said, no, son, everything doesn't happen for a reason. Everything happens because you make decisions, right? This actually started out because we was talking about his prom night. You know how things go on your prom night. So I said, look, dude, this might come up on your prom night. So you need to be prepared if it does. So I told him what to go buy, and I told him I will be there to check to make sure he got it. You ain't leaving for the prom if you ain't got him. All right? So I told him what to go buy. And I was like, everything doesn't happen for a reason. Everything happens because you made a decision. When somebody has a baby and they're 15 years old or they're 20 years old, it didn't happen for a reason. It happened because they made a decision. That decision is called a causal factor. And then there are effects that come after that. So people say, and people give into that too much. Oh, well, this happened because God is taking me through a season. This happened because, my spirit needs to learn this. This happened because, this is just the current climate of things. We have all these excuses that we put on either something spiritual or something physical to say that it's there for a reason, or it has this season, or I'm supposed to learn this, I'm supposed to learn that. I tell my kids all the time, you don't have to go through the hell that I went through in order to get to your heaven. Right? Don't go through the hell I went through to get to your heaven. Don't go through the financial hell I went through in order to get you to your financial heaven. I didn't have anybody teaching me finances when I was graduating from high school, when I went into the military. I was winging it, and I had to learn as I go. So I made a ton of mistakes. I wish I had them. I always tell my kids all the time, if I had me as a father, I'd have been financially wealthy by the time I was 35. If I was listening to me as a father. Let me put that caveat in there. But I tell them all the time. I tell them that all the time. And I was telling them, things happen because you made a decision. I told him, I said, look, if you go on a prom and you and this young lady were to have sex, unprotected sex, and then she was to get pregnant, things didn't happen for a reason. Things happened because you made a decision to have unprotected sex. Things happen for a reason. If you caught something from her, then that happened for a reason because you decided to have unprotected sex. Now your life has done all that. And you may say, like I saw a guy saying that having his son at 15 was a blessing to him because it got him out of all this, it kept him from going to jail or dying. And that may be true. That may be true. And many people say, well, that was a blessing. And the energy, the universe the creator put that in his life so that he can do that. But there were many other ways. A great mentor could have came into his life and did the same thing. A parent coming into his mom could have married some other man, and that man could have led him differently. There's all kinds of things that could have happened. That didn't have to happen. That happened because he made a decision to lay down with a young lady and they had a baby. And then his response to having a child changed him because he grew up without a father and he knew how that felt, and he didn't want his son to feel the same way. That was another decision he made based on the emotions he experienced by not having a father in his life, right? So everything doesn't happen for a reason. It happens because you make a decision. And I was explaining that to my son, that every decision you make has consequences. Every decision that you make is a causal factor. So when you're making your plan for your life, when you're doing activities for your life, realize that each decision you make has a consequence that follows it, has an effect that follows it. So contemplate the effect for the decision. So when you're making your plan, contemplate the effects. When you're deciding who you're going to tell your plan to, contemplate the effects. But you have to do all of that with definiteness of purpose. That's what definiteness of purpose does for you. It gives you that ability to contemplate the effects of the decisions that you're making within your plan and the movements that you make. Because when you have definiteness of purpose, you start moving in a way that increases your vibration, that changes and creates your new reality. And all of that happens because you made a decision to be definite with definiteness and purpose towards your plan and effectively work your plan and keep it close to vest. So that's something that I learned. That's something that reinvigorated me, that reminded me by watching Endgame. And at the end of the movie, I was thinking about that. And then when I saw it made $1.2 billion, I was like, man, that's what 10 years does for you. 11 years, sorry. But 11 years, that's what that does for you. And that's considered in business world an overnight success. That is considered an overnight success in the business world. That's why everybody's freaking out about it, because that's an overnight success in a true business world. So if you are willing to get a plan and stick with it for the next 10, 20 years, then you will see success in your plan, whether it's your health, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your money, your business, your family, your kids, no matter what it is. Stick with that plan for now until the next 20 years and have definite purpose with it. Be willing to make adjustments, and don't tell people who are not a benefit to you what your plans are, and you will have that Kevin Feige MCU $1.2 billion over 3 days kind of weekend. And I guarantee that will happen if you have those elements. So, and if you need help with that, I'm Coach Renz. Contact me. I'll be more than happy to work with you. I'll be delighted to work with you. I love seeing people elevate and hit those levels of success and grow and have everything in life they deserve to have their heaven on earth right now and get out of your hell. So watch these other videos. Contact me at CoachRenz.com. Let's get started on you having the greatest life you've ever had, and you being as successful as you want to be in every aspect of your life, the full 360 degrees of your life. Because remember, you got to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.